Okay, I want to offer you guys a quick word about peer responses. So I'm grading right now, and I'm finding that we are missing a lot of peer responses. This is costing you 15 points for each one that you miss, so you don't want to miss that. Let me explain, maybe in better words or details, what is required of you. So each week you will have 1 to 3 prompts that you will respond to in posts. So let's say you have 3, like we've had last week and we have this week. So you have 3 posts that you need to make in response to a prompt that I give you, right? So it's week 1, prompt 2, week 1, prompt 3, week 1, prompt 1, right? So you have these 3 prompts that you're responding to. So your response, I call a post. It's a discussion post. So you post in response to a prompt. Okay? Then you need to comment on a peer's post in that same prompt. So for every post that you make, you need a corresponding peer response. You can't respond to 3 peers for prompt 2, right? So you can't save all your peer responses that are due that week for only 1 prompt and 3 posts within that prompt, or 3 posts that are answering that prompt. So you need, for each one that you make, for each one that is required of you, you need a peer response. You can have more than 1. Each peer response must be a minimum of 2 paragraphs. So a paragraph is 5 to 7 sentences, thereabouts. So you need to have 2 paragraphs. Here's where things sound complicated, but they're not. There's just no easy way for me to explain it. So let's say it is week 2, prompt 1, and you have written your discussion post addressing the questions in the prompt, okay? Your post is however long it is, right? Each post is going to be different based on the prompt that I'm giving you. So you've written your post. Now you need to find a peer's post in that same, under that same prompt. So for week 2, prompt 1, a peer has posted, then you will respond to that peer. Okay? Now, let's say you don't have 2 paragraphs worth of things to say, and that can happen. So if you don't have 2 paragraphs worth of things to say, rather than try to repeat yourself a bunch or, whatever, just to make the minimum count, you can respond to 2 peers. And each response is a paragraph. So then you're meeting the 2 paragraph minimum requirement. You're still responding to the people who are commenting on that post or on that prompt, who are posting in response to the prompt. Okay, so you're still commenting on people within that prompt, but you're just doing it for 2 rather than 1. So if it's week 2, you need to write in response to prompt 1 a discussion post. And then you need to comment on a peer's. And then for prompt 2, you will post a discussion in response to that prompt, and then you will comment on a peer's. And then for prompt 3, you will post a discussion, and then you will comment on a peer's discussion. Now, you may comment on 2 peers' discussions for each, or 2 peers for 1. So for prompt 1, let's say you post, and then you comment on 2 peers. That's fine. But that doesn't mean that you can skip commenting on a post for prompt 2 of a peer, right? So you can't have 2 responses for prompt 1 and no responses for prompt 2 and 1 response for prompt 3. Even though you've responded to 3, you're not doing it per post, right? So, or per prompt. You can think of it either way. So you have a prompt, you post, then you comment on a peer. You have a prompt, another prompt, prompt 2, you write a post, then you comment on a peer. Then you have prompt 3, you write a post, and then you comment on a peer. You can comment on 2 peers, 3 peers. You can have 7 peer responses a week. You can have 12. I don't care. I just care that you have 1 for each prompt. So your post and then your response, your post, and then response, your post, and response. I hope that makes sense. I know it sounds confusing when I'm saying it like this. I'm confusing myself. But if you just make sure that after you respond to the prompt in your discussion post, you then find a peer to respond to. Now, if you're the first person, there's not a peer, you're going to have to check back later, tomorrow or the next day before it's due, and find a person's post that you want to respond to. And then you respond to that peer. I hope that clarifies things. I don't want you guys to lose out on points because you're not understanding what I'm requiring. So I want to make clear the requirements for the class.